Anybody?
Need a gavel.
Anybody?
You just ignored me, man. I don't care.
I don't know what that means, but.
Hey, Ronnie.
We're going to get started. Everyone ready? Great, we're going to get started with head volleyball coach Jeff Nelson.
Right here.
Hey, Hammer Hank.
All right, so we close out our regular season this weekend on the road. We play Wyoming on Thursday at 7:30, followed by a road trip to Colorado State on Saturday at 7. We are coming off 2 tough losses this week at home. We lost in 5 to Fresno State and 5 to San Diego State. So we'll let Coach Nelson start with the opening statement and take any questions.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, we played well at times this week, particularly early in both matches, but we didn't finish well, and that was a little disappointing. We actually had match point on San Diego State and missed our serve in the 4th game on Saturday. Yeah, freshman, and she's struggling with that, but there were other things we could have done to take care of it, but. It's just we're just missing that point scorer on the right side, and the good news is we may have Bedingfield for more play this week, which is good for us, especially with who we're playing. We didn't have her the first time we played these 2 teams, and went 5 with Wyoming, so maybe we're hoping we can flip that, and. But we're continuing to be saddled with the same problems. We're making too many errors on the left side and not taking care of the ball well enough. And it's something we work on almost every day, but it's kind of hit or miss. And Fresno State's a really good team. On Thursday night, we had worked a lot on hitting off the block and stuff, and we scored 14 points off the block on Thursday night, and we had worked on that all last week. But then on Saturday, we kind of lost that, and we scored 2 points off the block. And we've got to continue to do that and stay with what our training is and what's working. Signing day is tomorrow. We'll have a release on that, but we're very excited about what's happening. And I guess you'll see tomorrow, but I don't think it's I don't think there's a class I've ever been more excited about. So this week going forward, we're at Wyoming on Wednesday. We had a really close match with them the first time. Good team. They were a team that had votes to win the conference, but they've struggled down the stretch as well. And so we're hoping for a really good matchup there. We had a good one last year, and we're able to get out of there with the win, and we're hoping that we can go up and play well again and get that done. And then Saturday night we don't usually play on Saturday nights, but there's football conflict, so we're Saturday night at Colorado State, and they're playing really well again. So Brianna Reynolds has been almost unstoppable for everyone. She's just a really good outside hitter, high flyer, and extremely physical. So that will be our big challenge, dealing with their middles and her on Saturday night. Any questions?
How tough is this road trip, this one in particular?
You know, last year it was a good road trip for us. We won at Wyoming and took CSU 5, and we've got nothing to lose. I don't think we've checked out, because we had that conversation yesterday, and people trained really hard and did a really good job. So I think they're ready to go, and I think they want to play well this week. So I think we'll be okay.
With tomorrow, with the signing day coming tomorrow, did it hurt at all, like when they talked about cutting beach volleyball and stuff like that? Did that affect your recruiting at all?
Not this year's class. It does, because there are a lot of kids in the Southwest now that want to do both. And so it eliminates you from that group of kids, which is a fairly sizable group of kids now, because it's growing so fast and everything, that there are a number, particularly outside hitters, that want to do both. But we had kind of had a pretty good head start on this, and we actually have been able to hone that in. The kids that we're signing are more interested in indoor and even prolonged indoor careers. So.
One more last thing with Jeremy hoping that they restore his program. You guys hopeful that it doesn't go away?
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, we've put a lot into it, and you know, it's a battle for our students, and they're continuing to work on it. And my position is a difficult one. You know, I've got the indoor team and the beach team, and we're in really different places right now. So I'm kind of caught, I would guess, but I do really support those kids. They've done a really good job of getting their word out. I think there's a lot of hope with a new governor and new people in Santa Fe that some things will happen there. And I know there's a lot of support on campus between the student senate and different things right now. And so, you know, we'll see what happens. But right now we've got this week and signing tomorrow, and I think the challenge for those kids right now has been they've been doing fall workouts, and it's difficult when you don't know what's going to happen or it's going to be over. And then too, the kids are free to go. So a couple kids have left as well. So, anything else?
You were talking about your new recruiting class, and how happy were you with this freshman class this year?
Well, I've got. I mean, we have a transfer that plays all the time, and we have 2 freshmen that play all the time, and we've been. You know, we're in the middle of the pack, and this is their first year. They've made some mistakes, but they've gotten better and better, particularly Sabrina and Jack. You know, setting and being in the lead as a freshman is very difficult, and I think they've done a good job. I think they've gotten better. They've certainly made their mistakes at times, but overall, I think as they go, they're going to be really good. They're both good athletes. They get to every ball. They do a lot of things well, but they are 17 and 18, you know, so there is that factor. But, you know, I think having 2 freshman setters that have that many matches under their belt already will bode well for the future, particularly, you know, I think even as you get past the first year and into your first spring, because you don't really get to train them until the spring when you're a fall sport. You just come in and you go. So I think with what I've seen, and then now with some good months of training, I think it's going to be really good. And they're very different, but I think if we go back to a 5-1, which we are looking at probably with the recruits we have coming in, it'll be a real challenge between the 2 of them to see who picks up and gets that starting position. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Usually, you know, you always seem to have a real, it seems to me anyway, a real outstanding freshman. And it just seemed like this year, I'm not an expert. I just go to your games and watch and stuff. I just didn't feel like you had that real impactful girl this year.
Well, you know, we had 4 seniors, so you really expect them to lead and kind of expect those freshmen to just be role players. But when they're setters, that's difficult. You're making the calls, you're making the decisions, and there have been good decisions and bad decisions, and we talk about those. And particularly on Saturday late in the game, there were a couple bad decisions, and we talked about that and what you're running. And you know, were you there Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah, so San Diego State, Deja Harris is pretty dominant, the middle. And we ran the ball right into her late in game 4, and it's like, that's probably not a good decision. Those are the things we have to learn in the next few months. But just purely playing and positives, negatives, they have a lot more positives than negatives. And like I said, really hard to have a freshman quarterbacking your team. But I think they've done a good job, and I think athletically they're going to do really well in the future.
Great.
Anything
Thank you
else?
very much.
Thanks.
Thanks, Coach.